Hello YouTube! I am back for an unboxing. It's been a long time since I've unboxed anything or bought anything computer related, but it's upgrade time, and if you're watching at work, I'm going to say this is a not safe for work video because this is one of the best looking motherboards I've seen in my life. I've had it sat here for about 4 or 5 days now, and I've not actually had the time to open the box. But I have the time now, and I'm going to give you the pleasure of putting it on camera. I'm probably actually not watching us on YouTube because I'll take it down because it's so sexy. But this is the MSI X99S SLI Plus, top quality and stability. And this is on the new Intel chipset, their new X99 chipset with the that beast 8-core and the 2 6-core CPUs. Full bang. Obviously I have a new product. There's a nice teaser for you. I'm not going to really go over these specifications because we don't care about that. We want to see the board, don't we? Well, we do care about that, but I'll go over it obviously while going over the motherboard. And here is the board. Now I'm going to put that to one side because I don't want you to see it yet. Let's go through this section. Okay, so first we have a NVIDIA SLI bridge. Top notch stuff with your SLI in, very important. A nice all black I/O shield, although yeah, it is all black. And then nice white sort of labels telling you like mouse and keyboard, USB, super speed, telling you what all the stuff is, which we will be going over very shortly. We've got what MSI call their M connectors, which basically allows you to grab all the front panel connectors and put one in the right places, correctly marked. If your front panel connectors are different, all separated like most of them are these days. There we have we have two 6 gigabit a second cables. One's a right angled connector at one end and then straight on the other end, and the other is both ends are straight. And same with this pack as well, say it's 6 gigabit a second, one right angled, one not, and the same with that pack. So that's a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SATA 6 gigabit a second ports. Drivers and utilities disk. A lot of people say to throw this out, but sometimes I've installed Windows and the LAN isn't working. That means then I can't download the drivers if I don't have a spare PC around. So it's always good to keep hold of that. Here we have a quick installation guide, which as normal is massive. I'm not even going to bother opening that up because it is far too big. And we have the user guide. God Pro. Classic motherboard. This is a classic motherboard, every guy. Right, let's throw this stuff back in there because we're done with this. We don't want to see this anymore, do we? We want to see the motherboard itself. So let's get this motherboard in view. As always, I will have some very nice high-res, high-detail macro. I've actually got a macro lens now, so... Sorry, that was my phone. Breaking news, apparently. Right. Make sure you're actually in the shots. And this is my first look in person of the MSI X99S SLI Plus, and oh my god, amazing! All of the everything is black except the actual soldering. It is such an amazing board. But let's go over it. Here we have the new 2011 3 socket. Basically, it's just like the X79 boards, 2011 pins, but pins on here do different to what the other one do, so that's why they're not actually compatible. Well, one of the reasons, no, there's obvious ones. The main obvious one being this 8 slots of DDR4 with speeds of up to 3.3 gigahertz and up to 128 gigs in capacity. Oh, imagine that, 128 gigs of RAM. Got a MOSFET cooler there, and the X99 chipset is under here. We have two PCIe 3.0, needs a times 16 slots. I would have actually preferred the other 16 to be there, so then you have 2 cards at a space running at times 16. But and then these 2 are times 8, and then these are obviously times 1. According to MSI, this board does support, and you can do quad SLI or quad fire on it using 4 cards. No actual high-end card that does do for quad SLI or quad crossfire one. They're all dual slot cards, so you're not really going to be able to do it with these slots being right there. So it does support it, but it doesn't. Going on the bottom, we have an OC Genie audio first. So now we've got our front panel audio connector just there. There we've got a 4-pin fan header. Here we have OC Genie, which was switched on for some reason. Power button, reset button. There's our front panel connectors, headers. 2 USB 2.0 front panel connectors. SATA Express. Just hidden underneath here, which I will show. I'll switch to the macro lens and go over everything in more detail. But here we have, in picture form, here we have a switch for the BIOS. And then, around here we have 8 SATA ports. Now I'm just trying to find out what they are. Ooh. They're all SATA 6 apparently, according to the specifications. 2 front USB headers, USB 3.0 headers, and this is what I love about this board. See that? If I focus the camera, or try to. There we go. That is a right-angled front USB 3.0 port. This should be standard, because the USB 3 headers are so big, the actual cables are so big and chunky that it just ruins the look of any build when they're sticking out like this. But every board should have a right-angled one. This is the main reason I picked this board over any of the Asus boards, any of the Gigabyte boards, is because of this right-angled header, as well as its damn right good looks. Now we've got 24 pin. Might as well keep it up here now. Another 2 fan headers, 8 pin. I'm going to go back to what I skipped, because what I missed even. Now we have a M SATA connector, which I believe does, it's a turbo one, and it does do, I believe, up to 32 gigabits a second. Imagine that. You'll be, to give you an idea of that kind of speed, the starting Windows animation would actually slow your boot down with it trying to do that. And now on the back we have, oh, if I can get that in shot properly without dropping the board, mouse and keyboard, PS2 port. That's a very good thing to have. A lot of people do prefer to have that, definitely when they're overclocking, because it's easy, guaranteed to get into the BIOS using that connector, but more so when you are USB 2 or USB 3. My spare keyboard I have is also is an old one and is PS2, so if my main keyboard breaks, I know that I can still use my computer. Because it'd be a bit annoying to have an 8-core, you know, top of the range CPU, and your keyboard breaks, and all of a sudden your computer is just a paperweight pretty much, so you get a replacement. So it's nice to have that on there. 2 USB 2 ports, clear CMOS button. not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 sets of USB 3, super speed USB 3. Just have to double check on that one. Yep. So that is 2, 4, 6, 8 USB 3.0 ports. That is amazing. Actually built in natively to the chipset as well. Because that's one thing X99 brings, which X79 didn't actually have. Internet, gigabit LAN, and then that is 8-channel Realtek HD audio, and the coax cable one as well. But now it is. Now I'm going to stop the video and change over to my macro lens and go handheld for this and give you some proper nice views of this. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, I am back with my macro lens attached. So let's have a look at this, shall we? There is the LGA 2011-3 socket. There is the MOSFET cooler. Yeah, there's the first 4 DDR4 DIMMs. And another 4. And the SATA ports that I was telling you about. If the camera wants to actually focus. There we go. Switch it to manual, that seems to be easier. So there you have it, they're all SATA 6. And then there is the legendary front USB header that is right angled. Asus, Gigabyte, why aren't you doing this? You're two of the biggest motherboard manufacturers in the world and you don't do this. Except, I think actually the Rampage 5 does, the Rampage 5 Extreme does have it, but none of their other boards do. And there is the chipset cooler. That's the BIOS switch, what I was talking about, but it's hid away. As you can see, the capacitors focus on the capacitors, I don't, damn you. There we go, they are completely black. Which is what we like to see on a board that's black. Oh god, now I've got to get focus back. Focus! Focus! There's the there's a CMOS battery. Bit of an annoying location because that's always going to be covered up by a graphics card, but you've got the button on the back which is quite easy to get to. So, no real biggie. So, there's reset, OC Genie, and power, because I skipped over that. Front audio. Some more black capacitors again. But this is one hell of a board. There is the M2 SATA port. But yeah, really MSI, you have really outdone yourself. When I first started, long before I actually saw any motherboards for the X99 chipset, I was picturing what board I wanted to use for my build, and this pretty much is it. And I am amazed that I've actually not had to compromise by getting like a blue build board, or board with blue on it, or board with red on it. It occurred to me when I was changing the lenses, I called that port a coax when it's not. I don't know why I did call it that. It is actually the optical SLI out. So I apologise for that. There we've got our gigabit ports again, and the front USB 3 ports. There's our clear CMOS button there, and again our PS2 and our USB 2 ports. Nice to still have them on there, because some things do get a bit funny when you stick them in a USB 3 port. One thing I've just found out is I have some dead pixels on my camera screen. But that is the motherboard of heavens. That concludes the unboxing of the MSI X99S Plus, SLI Plus, sorry. And remember, there will now be some really nice macro shots of this board to really wet your whistle. If you don't already want to buy it, I'm sure they will make you want to buy it. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more, because obviously I've got a whole build coming up with lots and lots of parts to build. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.